Welcome back to AdventureSphere. In this episode, we'll cover Promila Daman Mehta-Paul, a woman missing from Munster, Indiana. Stay tuned until the end to hear our intended search areas and have an opportunity to win upcoming giveaways. First, if you liked hide and seek as a child and cold case mysteries as an adult, welcome home. Be sure to subscribe because on this channel, those are the exact people we search for and do our best to bring home to their families. So grab some refreshments, pen and notebook, and let's get to solving where Promila's been hiding. Next, be sure to download Google Earth. It's a free app for your phone and computer and lets you search right alongside us. The places I mention are shared with my blessing so that Promila can be reunited with her family, regardless who higher powers work through. The description box has our email address if you'd like to share confidential information on any cold case, need help pulling up older maps of an area, or know someone missing with a vehicle and would like them featured on our channel. The video of Google Earth will have a measurement from the starting point, which is her home address, and goes out to possible search areas. We focus on bodies of water within 5 miles from home, their last cell phone ping, last known location, and sentimental sites where water is deep enough to hide a vehicle. If an area has been heavily searched, we may expand the search area, but please keep in mind that accidents tend to happen closer to home. Promila Daman Mehta-Paul, then 70, is missing from Munster, Indiana, on Monday, March 21st, 2011. She was seen near her home after working at her doctor's office and hospital during the day. Her vehicle, a gold 2001 Toyota RAV4, Indiana plates DW2031, expired in 2012, is also missing and is entered as a vehicle involved in a felony in the NCIC. The Charlie Project has her date of birth as September 19th, 1940. The RAV4 has a California license plate of 6 LHZ 319. Her home is in the 9000 block of Twin Creek Boulevard. She was an ophthalmologist, finished work at 5 p.m., then went to deposit the money at the First National Bank. And that was a daily ritual for her. On Tuesday, March 22nd, she failed to attend work at the hospital for her rounds. Staff said it was highly uncharacteristic for her after they reported her missing. She made no large financial transactions. All the drugs were reconciled and accurate, and there was no note left behind. Her son, Paresh Paul, moved in with her just prior to her disappearance. Her other children lived in California. Paresh also uses the names Paul Monet Fontaine, Omar Ahmed, and Paul Escante. He made a quick departure after Promila's disappearance. He was held for questioning at the San Ysidro, California border crossing just 5 days after her disappearance. Paresh refused to disclose how he made it to the border from Indiana in 4 days and without any belongings. He also declined to answer questions pertaining to Promila's missing vehicle. He left his vehicle, an Acura, in Indiana without a license plate, claiming he didn't know what happened to it. Promila's ex-husband is a pediatrician. He and Promila married in Punjab, India in 1971, just 6 months after his first wife passed away. They had 3 sons, became wealthy. Promila disclosed in the mid-'80s that he became physically abusive and she had filed for a divorce in 1991. The divorce was granted 5 years later. Some of the court disputes were still pending at the time of her disappearance, 20 years after filing. Her husband is remarried and splits his time between Indiana and California. He's been ruled out as a suspect in Promila's disappearance, as well as her other children. Paresh, however, is considered a person of interest. Paresh allegedly had anger problems and was physically abusive toward his mother, although she never pressed charges. He has an arrest record for public intoxication, driving under the influence, and battery. Investigators found evidence in Promila's home that leads them to believe she was murdered and that Paresh is responsible for it. He stayed in her home until October 2012 when he was sentenced to 5 years for forgery. He sold a black 2010 Toyota RAV4 owned by PMP Associates, a healthcare service company, claiming he was the chief financial officer of the corporation, and Promila is the registered agent, principal, and secretary of PMP Associates. Promila graduated the Christian Medical College in Punjab. The places I would initially like to search include the Wampum Lake, Little Calumet River, the pond at Chapel of Praise, Lake George, Wolf Lake, Powderhorn Lake, the Grand Calumet River, the Cady Marsh Ditch, Clayhole Lake, Hart Ditch, Green Lake, the Indiana Harbor Canal, Gulf Lake, and Bingo Lake. Some other thoughts. I'm not a lawyer giving any legal advice, but if a person is killed in a state other than their primary residence, I believe they can be prosecuted by multiple states as well as federally. If Promila was killed, I'm thinking she would most likely be in Indiana, Illinois, or California. Keeping her alive to California may help him cover some of his tracks if he were stopped. It's an approximately 30-hour drive from Munster to San Ysidro, California. In theory, he could safely make the drive if he drove 8 to 10 hours per day. CBSNews.com on March 30th says it was a multi-million-dollar divorce for Promila and her husband. On that Wednesday, police had searched a pond, creek, and golf course in Munster, about 2 blocks from her home. They haven't received certain info to search the lake. The report says that Paresh cooperated fully at the time of the article. Promila's eye clinic was in Highland, Indiana. Her home was in the Twin Creeks subdivision. Police said there were no signs of violence in her residence, but some undisclosed items were taken from the home that may provide clues to the investigation. An Indian newspaper website updated on September 9th, 2011, states Paresh is the oldest child and that his statements have been inconsistent with authorities. He hired a lawyer while at the San Ysidro crossing. In July, Paresh sought guardianship to become the legal executor of Promila's estate. In public records, Paresh's last address was in Los Angeles. In 2009, the IRS placed a $536,000 federal tax lien against him. The Doe Network in 2019, Paresh was charged with his mother's murder. In 2021, the prosecutor's office dismissed the murder count and charged him with obstruction of justice and failure to report a dead body. He admitted to finding his mother dead on March 21st, 2011, and not reporting her death to law enforcement or a physician. Instead, he disposed of her remains in an effort to hinder the investigation. He was released for time served. Promila's remains have yet to be discovered. Detective Sergeant Race Schweitzer of the Munster Police Department can be reached at 219-836-6600. The First Financial Bank address is 2611 Highway Avenue. Her ophthalmologist office was on Kennedy Avenue, and there was no activity on her cell phone or bank card since her disappearance. If you like this episode and haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to our channel, giving our videos a thumbs up, and sharing the movement with those you influence. It makes it possible for me to provide great content for viewers like you. Please leave a comment letting me know in general where you live so I can get an idea of where our movement reaches. It helps us, the algorithms, and the families most of all. We really appreciate the time you've invested into watching our purpose come to life. It means the world to us, the families, and the communities that we serve. 100% of donations received stay within the organization to help purchase sonar equipment that will help families for years to come. Your contribution, whether it be a simple act of subscribing and liking to financial support, alleviates some of the stress during one of their most difficult, bittersweet chapters in their lives. From us, the families, and public safety teams, thank you. To show our gratitude, I'll release a giveaway and donation video shortly. The first giveaway will occur when we reach 1,000 subscribers, and you must be subscribed to win. Immediate donation links are in the description. Kickstarter and GoFundMe campaigns are coming soon. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and remember that we love you.